How faithful, congratulations, with 40% of the votes. You got it. And then Giovanni with 33.33% of the votes. Congratulations. Congratulations, how faithful. How do you feel? How does it feel like to be the first winner of that prize?
Well, honestly, it felt really good. It felt nice. It was a very wonderful experience. I mean, I was happy that my hard work paid off. I mean, all the research, the writing, the time it took to put into, writing the essay, from the essay, praying to be selected, finally being selected, and knowing that, okay, I need to do more. I had to prepare a PowerPoint. I had to present the PowerPoint. Not prepare a PowerPoint before. That was my first time, and I presented it. I learned a lot of things, a lot of new skills. I mean, even things I had read for an exam, I found myself reading more for a contest, and I was so glad I did, and it paid off. So I felt really good. Yes,
Wow.
I felt really good.
Wow, that's so. What was your toughest question? What was the toughest question you faced that day during the contest?
The toughest question I faced that day, well, I feel like it would be the questions that involved, trying to pick which career is irreplaceable or which career is replaceable. I feel like that's one of the toughest things because it felt as though AI was taking over the world, and the humans would lose their ability to make impact. Because judging listening to other professions and how they prove their points, I mainly wonder: can AI, can internet really replace nurses? And then I understood that, excuse me, even from the very beginning, from the origin of nursing and everything, it came from a place of care, and that's one thing that AI lacked. That's one thing that the internet doesn't necessarily have: empathy, compassion. You can give AI everything, you can teach it what to do, but you can't exactly teach it to care. You can't exactly teach it to have that human feeling. That's what makes us humans. We are different. I mean, even from other species, every other creature that there is, it's that empathy, that compassion we have that makes us humans. So that's one of the questions that was quite tough. It had me thinking. I thought a lot, and I was able to deliver quite well.
Wow. So that brought me to the question, because I know that day you had a very strong competition. You have a lot of people. You have the engineering students, you have the medical students that was there. So it was a very tough one for you. So in your own, I believe you must have done some rethinking. So what do you think was the secret behind your success that day?
The secret behind success, well, I would say God and hard work. To be very honest, God and hard work, because I felt the people listening saw a reason to believe that, okay, I was the person that they felt should win, because it was based on votes. But then they saw that, okay, this person knows what she's saying. This person is making sense. This person isn't just talking out of emotion or talking just because they're in the profession. But this is somebody that even if they were in another profession, they would defend it the way they ought to defend it. And they weren't just talking based on head knowledge alone, but based on actual research. So I feel like that's one of the factors.
That's one of your success. Okay, that's cool. So how did you, like, you won 200,000 naira? That was a grand prize, 200,000 naira. If you don't mind, you can also, it's fine if you don't want to talk about it though. So if you don't mind, is it okay for you to let us know how that helps you?
How that helped me? All right. Well, the money did a lot. I was so excited because at that time I was just hoping and praying that, okay, if the money comes, I need to get something that's going to help me academically. It's going to make things easier for me. And immediately the money came. I think the next day, yes, the next day, I went to the market and I made a purchase, and I got a laptop. I got a very beautiful laptop.
Wow,
Beautiful laptop. And
that's
so the
so.
laptop is mine.
Oh yeah, that's fine. If that's, I'll be excited to see it, of course.
All right, all right. Okay, let me get it. Let me get it.
Wow, that's cool, and that's helping you at school, right?
Yes, it's doing a whole lot. I mean, I have my notes on it. Sometimes when there are no there's no light, the laptop comes
Yeah.
in handy. My phone is down. I can just turn on the system and I can use it for academic purposes. So it's been
Wow,
quite nice. Yeah.
that's awesome. So anytime you look at the laptop, you're going to remember the career contest.
Yes, yes. That's one thing. It's something memorable. I always look at it
Okay.
and I remember, because I never imagined I would have a laptop now. I never, ever imagined. I never imagined. So it just came so. And it's crazy how I was telling myself that, okay, this year I would get a laptop. I was just praying. I even wrote it down. I would get a laptop, and I never knew it would come so suddenly, so easily. Yes, this way. Like it wasn't easy, but like it came so suddenly. It meant a
Yeah.
lot to me. I was so
Wow,
grateful.
that's so beautiful to hear. I feel so good hearing that, and it's really kind of like it's kind of like giving me some goosebumps already. I feel so happy hearing that. So I would also want to hear from you. So do you have any stuff Like, do you have any word for upcoming contestants or people on the platform, or stuff you like to say to those on the platforms? There are so many people on the platform right now. So many of them have not won anything, and some of them are feeling some kind of a way. They have been trying their best, but nothing is coming forth. So apart from that, you also have an advice for those that are on our platform, because as you already know, our platform is occupied by mainly young people just like you. So do you have an advice for them, encouragement for them, or something to tell them?
All right. So from what I know, from the couple of years within Unique Eagles Educational Center, one thing I know is that consistency and hard work pays here. Consistency and hard work pays here, because it's not just a platform where, for me and those around me, it's not just a platform where we just come online to burn data, answering random questions. No, it's more like a family whereby we grow together. Where he says we learn, we relearn, and we unlearn. Some things you might have thought you knew, you realize that they were wrong. Things you never knew, you learn them. And even things you knew before, you learn them even more. Judging from this context, for example, things I know about my profession, my career course, for example, I realized that, okay, I know some things, but then I knew more. When I had interaction with the other contestants, I learned a lot of things and I unlearned a lot of things. So I genuinely want to encourage someone who is on this platform to understand that consistency pays off. The more you show up, the more your chances of actually becoming a winner. Because you can't just come today and expect to be lucky. It's not by luck. It's not luck. It's not just chance. It happens when you put in that effort. Even different contests that are carried on here, the focus contest, everything. Sometimes if you have been consistent, you see that you say, what's your strategy? Because you know that, okay, it's not just this. There are techniques they are putting. There are different kind of things people do. People have their ways of actually engaging. It's not just sitting and it's just a random process. No, no, it's not. It's logical thinking. There's a lot of thinking involved. You need to use educational center will have you think. You will use your brain to think. I have thought a lot. You will think. And by the time because you will feel like somebody that knows more than you will be there and you'll be surprised. So I genuinely believe that consistency and hard work, physically, mentally, are the ways to succeed
To
on this
get
platform.
through, to get through. That's awesome. I always tell them on the platform every time. I said, when people mention the giveaway, they say giveaway. This is not a giveaway platform. In this platform is something that any money you get here, you will know that your brain worked for it. By the time you get home and buy some paracetamol or Panadol, you will know that your brain actually worked. It's not like, oh, I'm first person to know. Your brain will give you that money. So that is a platform. That is
Yes.
exactly what a platform is up for. And it's good to know just a foundational knowledge about how she got in here, how she got in this interview. So a few period ago, like that should be March, we had a contest. It was called the career contest, and the career contest was a contest where we have students from different profession. They came defending their career path. So we had someone from mechanical engineering. She came as a nursing student. We had a medical student, and then we also have I think we have one other person again that was from the lab, from a lab and scientist. So in the end, they all
Yes.
defended their career path. We had a lot of questions. They were arguing back and forth. I was blasting them with a lot of questions. And in the end, we had a vote. And that is how she won. So it was the viewers that voted. So the second prize was 100,000. The first prize was 200,000. So the second prize was an engineering student. So that person had 100,000. And then the third prize was 50,000. That was a medical student. And then the nursing student had a 200,000 naira. So the three of them shared 350,000 naira that day. And she came up top. And we're so happy she did not just use her money to go and enjoy herself or buy some shawarma somewhere. She intelligently spent the money. And for what you just saw from what we're seeing here, that she got a laptop with it. And happily she's using it at school. And that is good. That's exactly the kind of reports we want to be hearing. So I'm so happy to hear this and to see that she was able to use her money wisely. And thank you so much, Faith, for actually doing what you're doing. Keep on with your good work, keep on with your study, keep your heads up, and definitely we know that when you graduate, so we're going to have one of our nurses. Oh, we say, okay, we have our students, one of our top students as a nurse. That would be so good. We'll be so proud to have you maybe on your graduation ceremony. When you're graduating, we want to have some good time with you. Thank you so much, Faith.
Thank you, sir.
And
Thank you.
before you call it a day, do you have the last word you want to say about Unique Eagles?
Unique Eagles is home. Unique Eagles made me feel loved genuinely. Sometimes you might not even be active, you might not be online, and you just be oftentimes they call you Mr. Unique Eagles, but then remember that your name is Mr. Emmanuel, or we refer to you as Mr. Unique Eagles. And one very, I don't know whether you know this, but something very funny on our family platform, we call our family the Unique Family. We call ourselves the Unique Family, because you remember that, okay, Yeah, lovers of unity. So we put it as the unique Liza family. My dad came up with that because he genuinely feels like this is where, you see that his children are putting in effort and everybody is using their brains. But not just and I'm glad to be a member of the Unique Eagles family. I'm
Wow.
really glad to be a member. So
Wow,
grateful.
that's
Thank you, sir.
incredible. That's incredible. Thank you so much, Faithful, for joining us today. Thank you. I appreciate it. And do your best in school. I'm proud of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
All right, bye.